Hello my dear students, welcome to your online chemistry class. Today we will be continuing with the chapter Atomic Structure and the Chemical Bonding of your chemistry textbook. So today we will be discussing few of the topics like why do the atoms combine, the chemical bond, the two of its kind, the ionic or the electrovalent bond or the covalent or the molecular bond, and we will be discussing about the valency, the variable valency and the radicals. Okay, so now coming to the first topic, why do the atoms combine? So we know that most of the atoms, they are unstable. They are unstable in the sense they always want to combine with the other atom. It's because the most of the atoms, they do not have 8 electrons in the outermost orbit. So the atoms are stable when it has 8 electrons in the outermost orbit, which is known as an octet. Okay, and then or 2 also, which is known as a duplet. Okay, and this duplet is only for a hydrogen. Okay, so the atom, to gain stability, they always want to have either the 8 electron, or for a hydrogen it wants to have 2 electrons in the outermost orbit, which most of the atoms they do not have. Only the noble gases, they have such kind of electronic configuration. So the reason for the chemical activity of the atom is the atoms combine to attain the inert gas configuration. That means it wants to attain the octet state, or the hydrogen wants to attain the duplet state. So that is the answer of why do the atoms combine. The atom simply combines to attain the inert gas configuration. So in order to attain this inert gas configuration, there are 2 ways. So the 2 ways are known as, so the first way is either by transferring the electron, and the second one is by the sharing of an electron. So that is what is said to be the chemical bond. So the chemical bond is a bond between the 2 atoms that combines to form the molecule. So any kind of force of attraction that keeps the 2 atoms together is known as a chemical bond. So let us discuss about the ionic bond or the electrovalent bond. Okay, so now the ionic bond or the electrovalent bond, this kind of bond occurs usually when the metals combine with the non-metals. Okay, so metals combines with the non-metals, because the metals, they have the valency as 1, 2 and 3, and whereas the non-metal, it has a valency as 5, 6 or 7. Now valency here in the sense, it means that the metal has either 1 or 2 or 3 electron in the outermost orbit, but whereas the non-metal, it has a 5, 6 or 7 electron in the outermost orbit. So what happens? So the metal, they can easily lose an electron, and the non-metals, they can easily gain an electron. So that's why the metal easily combines with the non-metal to form a ionic bond. So we'll try to understand this with the help of the simple example of a sodium chloride. So let us see how NaCl is formed. So the formation of NaCl is a ionic bond. So the sodium, whose atomic number is 11, and the chlorine, whose atomic number is 17. So what are the electronic configurations? The sodium, it is 2, 8 and 1, and for the chlorine it will be 2, 8 and 7. So we see that in the outermost orbit, the sodium has 1 electron. So in order to gain stability, it requires 7 more electrons, which is almost impossible. An atom cannot gain a 7 electron. But what it can do, it can lose the 1 electron, and so the inner configuration, that is 8. And on the other hand side, we have a chlorine. The chlorine has a 7 electron in the outermost orbit. So for chlorine, it is very easy to gain 1 electron than to lose a 7 electron. So during the chemical combination, what happens? So if I draw the structure of sodium, so I draw 3 cells, 1, 2 and 3. Okay, so here innermost they has 2, and here 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and 8. So this is a sodium, and in the outermost orbit it has only 1 electron. Now coming to the chlorine also has 3 cells. Okay, so this is Cl. So in the innermost 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 in the second cell and 7 in the last cell. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7. So when they combine, what happens? The 1 electron of the sodium from the outermost cell is given to the chlorine, a complete transfer. Okay, so like this. So now the chlorine is also stable, and what happens? The sodium also becomes stable. So since the sodium loses an electron, so it becomes, so this I can write, sodium loses one electron, so it becomes Na plus, and the chlorine it gains one electron, so it becomes Cl minus. So the opposite charges, they attract one another, a strong electrostatic force of attraction. The sodium and chlorine, they attract one another. So and as a result, NaCl is formed. Okay, so that is how the ionic bonds are formed. So the ionic bond is formed between a metal and a non-metal. Okay, so by a complete transfer of an electron. So now let us try to understand the covalent bond. Okay. So the covalent bond is usually formed between the two non-metals. Because in case of a non-metal, the non-metal, they do not want to give an electron. So that's why the covalent bond is usually formed between the non-metals. So let us see how a chlorine molecule is formed, the Cl2. Okay, the chlorine molecule is formed by a covalent bond. So Cl2 means one molecule of chlorine, it contains two atoms. Okay, so the chlorine, it has how many electrons? It has 7 electrons in the outermost orbit. So what happens? The first chlorine, and here the second chlorine. So this chlorine is 17, this is also 17. So I do the structure. So 1, 2 and 3 cells. Here also 1, 2 and 3 cells. So inside 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and 8. And here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and 7. Yes. So now this chlorine, it requires one electron and this also requires one electron. So these cannot give it here. If it gives here, then the outermost cell, in the outermost cell it will have how many electrons? 6 electrons now. So that is still unstable. So in this case, it shares a one pair of electron. Okay. So this electron belongs to this chlorine also and itself also. And this electron belongs to the second chlorine atom and as well as to itself also. So in that case, one pair of electron is shared. So this is known as a mutual sharing. Okay. So thus the chlorine, like if I draw only the shade, so 2 electrons, it belongs to both the atoms of the chlorine. Okay, so that is what is meant by the sharing of an electron. So thus the covalent bond is a bond formed between the two non-metals by the mutual sharing of an electron. You can also understand it simply with the help of the hydrogen also. The hydrogen atom having one electron in the outermost orbit, another having one electron. So the hydrogen becomes stable when it has 2 electrons in the outermost orbit, that is a duplet. So what do? They share a pair of electron. Okay, so thus the hydrogen can be written as like this. Okay, so both the hydrogen shares the one pair of electron. So that is what is the ionic bond and the covalent bond. Now coming to the term valency. So the valency is simply the combining capacity of an atom. So that means during a chemical reaction, whatever number of electrons are shared, transferred or gained, that itself is the valency. Just like here during the formation of NaCl. So the sodium could give 1 electron. So therefore the valency of sodium is 1. The chlorine also could take 1 electron. So the valency of chlorine is also 1. So it must be very clear to you that the valency just refers to the number of electrons shared, transferred or gained during the chemical reaction. Okay. So now coming to the variable valency. So the variable valency here means that some of the atoms, it shows a variable valency. Like in some of the reaction, it can lose 1 electron. In the other reaction, it can lose 3 electrons. So such are said to be the variable valency. For example, the iron shows a variable valency. For example, FeCl2, that is the ferric chloride. So when the ferric chloride is formed, the valency of iron is 2 because it can share 2 electrons. But whereas in a ferrous chloride, FeCl3, in this case the valency of iron is 3 because in this the iron gives 3 electrons. So that is what is the variable valency. So the variable valency is because during the chemical reactions, okay, the same atom, it can share different numbers of electrons. So that's why some of the elements like iron, copper, mercury, they can exhibit a variable valency. So the last topic is a radical. So in the previous class we already discussed about the ions. Ions means they are the charged atom. Here are the ions. The sodium, when it loses one electron, this becomes ion, cation. And the chlorine, when it gains one electron, this also becomes an ion, that is an anion. So a single atom, when it loses or gains electron, it attains a charge, that is an ion. But a group of atom, when it or a group of atom that behaves as a singly charged molecule or as well as an atom, that is known as a radical. So the radical is a group of atoms that has a unit positive charge, not unit, that has a positive charge or a negative charge. So a group of atom that has a charge in it is known as a radical. So for example, the radicals are like the positive radical, if I talk about, is the ammonia, NH4 plus. Okay, so this is the positive radical. And talking about the negative radical, we have a hydroxyl radical like OH minus. Okay, so both of them, so as a whole it has a negative charge, and the ammonium ion as a whole it has a positive charge. So that is what is the radical. So the group of atom behaving like a charged particle is known as a radical. So that is the end of your chapter, the atomic structure and the chemical bond. So dear students, go through your chapters in details, and if any problem persists, you can obviously text me, call me in my WhatsApp number. So thank you.